up guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Brittany Mags, and today's video is going to be a little bit different to my singing videos and my cover videos and all of that. I'm going to be talking about my health. For the last couple of months, I should say, people have been asking me what's wrong, why I haven't been posting as much, what's wrong with my health. And honestly, I wasn't ready to answer because I didn't have any answers myself. But now that I have the answers, I am ready to talk about it. I want to start out this video by saying I'm not a doctor. I am not a health professional. I don't know much about anything. But I know my own personal experience and I know what I went through. So I hope that this can help you. Obviously, this video is geared more towards my female followers. But I do hope that this can help everyone else, and maybe it can help even if you have a sister, a cousin, a niece, a partner, just anybody. This might give you some insight into what it's like. A couple weeks ago I posted a photo to my Instagram of me after surgery, and I explained that I have endometriosis and I have polycystic ovaries. That is the short story. The long story is a lot bigger, and I'm going to get into detail about it and speak about it with you guys. I have it all written down on my phone because I have filmed this video. I'd say at least 6 times I have tried to film this video now, and I keep forgetting things and I keep saying things wrong. But you know what? This was my experience and this is my story, so I'm just going to tell it the way it comes. So I'll start from the beginning. I've always been a healthy person. I exercise heaps. I've always ridden my horses. I have always done some type of exercise. I've eaten healthy majority of the time. So I went on birth control when I was 15 years old. My doctor and I decided to do that because I had very bad cystic acne and I was traveling a lot, and you don't want to have acne when you're sitting in front of a camera. You know, when you're 15 years old, that does a lot to your self-confidence. You know, I had extremely late periods. I'm talking 6 months sometimes of not having a period. It was scary, but for some reason at that point in time the doctors didn't look into it. Looking back at it now, they should have. So I went on birth control as well because I was in a relationship. So all these things, and I decided to go on it. At the time it was a temporary fix and it did work for me. You know, when I stopped taking the pill and took the sugar pill, my period still took days to kick in, sometimes 4 days, and then it would start. But for the most part, everything else kind of cleared up. I moved out of home at the beginning of last year with my cousin Caitlin, as you guys may know, and I kind of fell into like this mental health issue. I became extremely anxious. Everything gave me bad anxiety. I was very fragile. I also had I had quite bad depression. So my doctor and I decided that it was time for me to go on anti-anxiety and antidepressants to help with that. Again, this should have been something big picture look at, and everything should have been looked at. But you know, sometimes, and this is nothing against doctors, but sometimes their quick thing is, hey, let's just give you some medication and move on. So that helped for a little while. It did. It did its job, and I started to gain weight. Elephant in the room, yes, I gained weight. I am 21, almost 22 years old. I am not going to be the same weight as what I was when I was 15, 16, 17. My lifestyle has changed. Of course, I'm going to gain weight. It is normal. It is completely normal. There is no thing in the world that should ever comment on somebody's weight. Nobody should ever comment on somebody's weight. And I can't tell you the amount of messages, comments, everything I have received from people saying, oh, you've gained weight, or asking me if I was pregnant, asking me if I just gave up on being healthy, which is disgusting. Don't ever comment on somebody's weight. It's just absolutely putrid. But that's not what this video is about. I just want to preface that I gained a lot of weight out of nowhere. So that was another thing that kind of led me to go, something is not right with my body. So at this point I had extremely irregular and late periods. I had anxiety, I was depressed, I had gained weight, my hair was thinning like you would not believe. It went from like here to here to here to here to here, and then it it's been a journey. Yeah, so I gained weight, and that really went hand in hand with my depression, because I think having people comment on that and then having to be in front of a camera, then looking back at the photos of yourself and knowing that one person out there, if not more, are going to comment and like message you privately and say, are you pregnant? You've gained weight. Do you have a secret? So I think this all kind of went hand in hand, and it just kind of started building and building and building and building. Went to my doctor and I was like, I want to get off the pill. I am depressed. I think that this is playing a part in my mental health. So she said, okay, we'll put you on the Mirena. So I went to go and get the Mirena put in. I did all the proper things, and I go to my doctor on the day. I go to a doctor, not a gynecologist, a doctor. But he was certified in Mirena insertion. And he goes to put it in, and he looks and he goes, I have to stop. You have a cyst. So I was like, a cyst? What? And then after like 10 minutes of everything, I just started bawling my eyes out. I cried and cried and cried, because no one wants to be told that they have a cyst where there shouldn't be a cyst growing. So I freaked out. I went home. I cried a lot. My poor boyfriend and my cousin just heard me just sitting there crying. And that was that. I went back to my doctor, my other doctor, my GP. She's like, oh, that's really weird. Okay, let's put you back on Yasmin. So, okay, all right, Mirena's not for me. We didn't really look much into the cyst. I don't know why. I also think that living out of home was a real big thing. Like, I didn't know how to speak to doctors myself. I don't know about you, but my mum was always my talker at the doctors. So I just kind of was like, oh, okay, a cyst. And they told me, you know, it might go itself, which later on I found out it did from my gynecologist. It must have just been a flare-up and whatnot. So my doctor put me back on Yasmin. And then fast forward a couple months later, I'm getting frequent migraines. I have always been a sufferer from migraines. I get migraines, and I would get them, you know, 3, 4, 5 times a week. It was to the point I couldn't get out of bed most days. I would wake up in the nighttime crying. I would have to sit in the dark room for days. So all of this just goes into this little pot, like, you know, not wanting to look at yourself in a photo, you know, getting called fat, having migraines, not being able to get out of bed, so therefore means it can't exercise. It just starts brewing and brewing and brewing and brewing, and eventually you've just got this big pot of depression and mental things that you just can't get your head around. I freak out and, you know, got migraines, so my dad takes me to get MRIs. I have every test done, and they can't figure out why I'm having all these headaches. And it was just, you know, that's probably just part of you. Take this medication, go home. And I hate taking medication that I'm not supposed to take. Not supposed to take, but I just, you know, I felt like at this point I was taking so many different things that I felt like, that's my little app, sorry. At this point I felt like I was taking so many medications that it was just absolutely crazy, and my body was literally giving up on me. I was exhausted. I couldn't move. Like I couldn't do anything. I couldn't sing. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. Everything was an effort. I was exhausted all of the time. So I go back to my doctor, and she puts me on Microlot. And fast forward a couple months to January, and my stomach constantly was huge. But I'm not talking like from here. I'm talking from like down in like my uterus part. It was just sore, and it was constantly sore. So I switched to Microlot because it was a mini pill, and, you know, Yasmin, they were scared that was causing the migraines, and, you know, there's a lot of different side effects that you can have with that. So I was a bit freaked out, and so was my doctor. So we went off Yasmin, and I went on to Microlot, which is a mini pill, which is only one hormone. And I'm in Huskisson with my boyfriend and my cousin and her husband, and my stomach is just, it literally was huge. And I'm going, this is so weird, I'm in so much pain. I was having weird things happen, and I was like, this is not normal. I was crying. So I went to the hospital. I went to the hospital in Huskisson. Actually, no, we drove an hour and a half to go to hospital. And they checked everything. They checked my, well, actually, no, I lied. They didn't check anything. He literally just goes to me, you're constipated, go home. And I was like, I'm not constipated, you have to believe me, something's not right. And he literally goes, no, you're constipated, listen to me, go home. And I said, but you didn't even look, you didn't do an ultrasound, like something's wrong. And he's like, you're constipated, go home, take these laxatives. So I did that, and you know what, that could have been a quick fix, but nothing was fixed. So from that moment, I knew that something was wrong, and I knew that my stomach and my body didn't feel like mine, and you know, it was painful during certain things, and I was having constant sharp pains, and when I'd have a period, it was agony. So I switched, and then I moved houses to this house, and I started bleeding out of nowhere. And I thought maybe it was the stress of moving, maybe I was having a breakthrough bleed, and I just thought, or maybe I was just having a period, or maybe I took my pill at the wrong time or something. So I kept taking my pill, and I ended up bleeding for 6 weeks. Now I know that sounds like a long time, and like, why would I let my body get to that? Well, I didn't. After 3 weeks, I went to the doctor and I said, hey, I've been bleeding nonstop. I thought that maybe it was the stress. I thought I was having a breakthrough bleed, but I haven't stopped. I'm exhausted. My body feels like I'm running low on iron. Like, you know, something's not right. And she goes, here, take a iron tablet and take this tablet and it'll stop your bleeding. So still, all these doctors are just giving me tablets and tablets and tablets to mask the things, but no one's looking into why I'm having all these problems. No one's looking into the root of the problem. So I go home and I take the tablet that's supposed to stop the bleeding, and it didn't work. So I kept taking it. I took it for about a week because she said, you know, sometimes it can take a while. So I took it for about a week. It didn't work. I was still bleeding. So I went back to the doctor, and she goes, oh, we're just going to up you to 2 tablets. So take 2 tablets 3 times a day. And I go, okay, I understand, but I also don't know why I'm bleeding this much. What's happening in my body? Something's not happening. I said, I have gained almost 10 kilos at this point. Something is not right. I don't feel right in my body. Every part of my body was aching. My stomach was huge. My uterus, like, it literally felt like my uterus, like where you would have a baby, someone was just kicking me in the gut. So I went home and I took the tablets. Like she said, they were anti-anemic tablets, and you know, she took a blood test, and I don't know what happened to that blood test because I don't remember going back to her. But I took myself to the hospital on the 6th week. I took myself to the hospital, and I was in excruciating amounts of pain to the point I was vomiting. So I knew something was wrong, so I went to the hospital, and we stayed in emergency till about 3 o'clock in the morning, and they sent me home. And they said, hey, we're going to call you first thing in the morning. We're going to make an appointment for you, and we are going to do an ultrasound. So I thought, okay. So I went home. No one called me. And eventually they called, and they were like, you missed your appointment. I was like, no, I didn't. I have my phone here. It was all a miscommunication. So they said, because you've been bleeding for so long, we want you to come in. So they rushed me in for an ultrasound. And when they went in, the lady literally goes, so I had to have an internal ultrasound. She goes, oh, wow. Okay. No one wants to hear that. While someone is ultrasounding you, not one person wants to hear, oh. Like, sorry? So she does all that, whatever. It was intrusive and it was scary, but I kept going with it because I had to. It was my doctor's orders. They took a blood test and it came back somewhat normal. So I went back to my doctor, and my doctor's like, oh, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. I don't know, like, you know, your ovaries say that they're bulky, but like, you're fine. So I call my mum. My mum's like, no, that's not right. I'm going to get a different doctor. So my mum, being the amazing person she is, goes around to all of her friends and tells them every single one of my health problems. So they told her about this doctor that was in our area, and they said, she's amazing, and you know, she really helps with polycystic ovaries and whatnot. And I said, I'll try anything at this point. So I went to this doctor, and I walked into the room, and I'm pretty sure I broke down crying. And I said, I'm not okay. I said, I am extremely depressed. I was off antidepressants at this point, by the way. I had slowly weaned off them. But I have gained so much weight, and nothing I am doing is helping. You know, I do social media for my job, and it is so hard having people comment on my weight. I said, there's just all this stuff. I said, my stomach is sore, I'm in pain, I am bleeding. You know, I'm 21 years old, this is not normal. So she goes, I think you have polycystic ovaries and I think you have endometriosis. And I go, what do you mean? What does that mean? I don't know, blah, 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 blah. And she's like, she explained it all to me. And at this point in time, nobody was really talking about polycystic ovaries. No one was really talking about endometriosis. Like, I didn't know all that much about it. All I knew, and the only thing I knew, endometriosis meant no babies. Obviously, that is not what it means. But at that point in time, because there was so little spoken about, that is what I associated with it. So I got in the car and I started crying. I'm like, I'm never gonna have children. That's all I want in life. I want babies, I want a family. And she sent me off to get more tests and blood tests. So I had a glucose test. I had a whole bunch of different tests. And my iron came back that I was extremely low on iron. I was extremely low on vitamin D. And I had insulin resistance PCOS. Now, basically, my body holds insulin. So if you were to go and eat 10 jelly beans, your body would process it. And it would, after a couple hours, your body would, like, you know, get rid of it. After a couple of hours, my body holds it, and if not, sometimes spikes it. So that explained my weight gain. So that is associated with my PCOS. So that went hand in hand with the PCOS. So now I take a tablet for that on top of my other tablets. So that was always the thing. We knew I had PCOS, but we didn't, like, I don't know, they kept saying we think, but they kept saying we know. It was really confusing time. So then my doctor sent me to a gastrologist because they thought maybe that my bowel, there was something wrong happening with my bowel. So I had a endoscopy and a colonoscopy. And it was disgusting. It was the worst thing I've ever been through. But that came back pretty much all clear. I won't get into the details of my bowels, but yeah, there was a couple things, but that was all fine. So it was good to know that I didn't have endometriosis in my bowel, which was what my doctor thought maybe was happening because I was having other symptoms. So she goes, okay, well, you know, we're gonna put you on this for a little while and I wanna send you to the doctor. And this is a couple months ago, about 3 months ago. She goes, I want to send you to your gynecologist and I want you to get the Mirena put in, but I want you to be put under while you get the Mirena put in. And I'm like, put under? Why? She goes, because I think it's going to be excruciatingly painful for you, and you know, we just don't want to put your body through anything else. Your body obviously reacts to stress quite badly, so we're just going to put you under. You know, you wake up and you'll be fine. So I go to my gynecologist. I didn't know who my gynecologist was at this point, by the way. I'm 21 years old. It's not really normal to have a gyno. Like, you don't really get pap smears in Australia till you're 25. Like, anyways, so I just like looked on Google gynecologists in my area and I found the one with the most gold stars and good reviews, and I booked him. And so I go to my gynecologist and he goes, oh, Mags, and he kept saying my last name and whatever. Anyways, so he goes, yes, I'm gonna put you under. I want to do a laparoscopy because I think you have endometriosis. And cool. Yep, cool. Endometriosis. That's fun. Cool. Whatever. I'm like, no, surely I don't have endometriosis. Like, I had a colonoscopy. I'm like, no, they would have seen it. Like, I'm not, that's where my brain was. So I got in the car, I called my mum. Hey mum, I'm having surgery next week. By the way, my gynecologist's name is blah, blah, blah. Do you know him? Because he kept saying it. She goes, Brittany, that's the man that birthed you. So the man that gave birth to me and helped me out was now going to be operating on my uterus, and it's the same man that gave birth to my cousins as well. So little family thing we got going on here. So I felt quite comfortable with him and he was really nice about it all. At this point I knew about the PCOS. I was on metformin to help my insulin resistance, and you know, we were trying to figure out that. I was off the pill completely. I was off all types of contraception and I still hadn't had a normal period. My periods, as I said at the beginning, were always extremely late. So I still hadn't had one natural normal period, and that was just my life. that was it. So I went to go to the hospital and have my little surgery, and thinking, you know, he's gonna go in there, he's gonna see that I have PCOS, but he's not gonna find any endometriosis. I'm gonna be absolutely okay, and I'm gonna go home, and that's that. He's gonna put the Mirena, and that's that. I'm done. I'm done. I was wrong. So he went in and he put the Mirena in, and when he went in, he found endometriosis on my, I think my left tube and down into my uterus. So he scraped it out, which is really good. And he, when I woke up, told me that he found that, and he also said your ovaries are extremely bulky. So your PCOS is quite prevalent. Your ovaries are very, very bulky. So, you know, when it comes time for you to have children, you know, we'll have to talk. Okay, I'm not going to stress about it now. It's out of my control now. I've just had a surgery to put a birth control in. Like, I'm not going to stress about the children's side of things yet, because I'm not trying. I don't want a baby yet. Yeah, I honestly, I could have missed so much in this video. My mind is racing with 100 different things. But basically, yeah, I have PCOS, and it's insulin resistant based. You know, my blood sugars are always crazy. So I do have to watch certain things that I eat now. I have lost a little bit of weight since my surgery. When they went in, oh, by the way, when they went in for my surgery, they found that there was a band that was attached from my bowel to something that shouldn't have been there. So they cut that completely out. And he also said that that could have been for the extreme bloating, and that would have been why my stomach was always puffy and felt really sore on that side. I haven't had a normal period yet. I am on the Mirena now, so I don't know if I'll ever have a period. It'll be just a touch and go guessing game. My stomach has healed up nicely. My scars, they're a part of me now. I haven't had much cramping. You know, I've been back to my doctor, but I haven't had a proper thing with her yet to talk about what my next steps are. I've upped my metformin dose, my insulin resistant tablet. I have upped that. So I'm now on 1,000 milligrams. And we are hoping that it helps to bring my blood sugars back down to normal. It has been a long process, and it has been a long period of not many doctors believing me, or, you know, thinking that I'm making the pain up. So if I can give you anything to take from this video, it is, you know your own body, and you know what is wrong with it. Make sure you listen to it, because if I hadn't listened to my body, I would still be going down the same path, and I'd probably still be on Yasmin getting my 4 to 5 migraines a week. Just please listen to your body. If there's one thing that I can say, it's, you know, your body really does tell you. Also, if I can give you one other thing to say, is don't talk about people's weight. It's a rude thing to do, and it's mean. But yeah, I want to say thank you so much for all your kind words and support. If I think of anything else, I will add it into the video. I want to add some links about PCOS and endometriosis down below. There is millions of people that struggle with this debilitating disease. It is so hard, and a lot of the times it goes undiagnosed, because it's so hard to diagnose. With 99% of the time, you know, you have to go and have surgery to diagnose it. So to all my female followers, if you are going through something and you feel like your uterus is in pain, it is not normal to have excruciating periods. It is not normal to feel that sick. It is not normal to, you know, miss periods all the time. It's not. So go see your gynecologist, go see your doctors, you know, demand that you get the proper testing done, demand that you have the proper stuff done. I'm a really big advocate on listening to your body, and I really hope that this video could help. I am sorry if it didn't make a lot of sense in some places. My mind is a billion miles an hour right now talking about this. I want to thank my doctors, the ones that have helped me, because they have almost given me a new energy the last couple weeks, the last 2 weeks even after my recovery. I have felt absolutely amazing. It's so weird. Like, I feel, I don't know if it's that I feel better, or I just feel like someone's actually finally listened to me. But obviously this is going to be a long journey for me. This is not something that goes away. This is something that I'm going to be living with. My endometriosis can come back. I can have to get it scraped out again and again and again. But for now, it is all cleared and it is all scraped out. Thankful for that. And I just want to say thank you to all the lovely people that said your lovely messages. I read every single message and I love you, and I hope that this video helped you in some type of way. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below, and if you have anything that you guys want to know, just let me know. From me and my orange juice. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video helped you in some type of way. And, you know, I hope it gave you some type of information into what endometriosis and polycystic ovaries is. Yeah. Okay. Bye, guys. Thank you for watching. Bye.